Hello and welcome to another episode of Scott Reads Comics. Today I'll be covering the official handbook of the Marvel Universe, Update 89, number 1. So, I mentioned in my coverage, in my concluding coverage of our previous run through the 20 issues of the Deluxe Handbook of the official handbook of the Marvel Universe, that I would be continuing on with the Update 89 series, which I think runs 8 issues. And then I've acquired enough of them in various dollar bins around town here in Pittsburgh that I've decided to begin. So we're going to start, obviously, with issue number 1. We have a fantastic cover from Ron Frenz, Pittsburgh talent. Ron Frenz, really great command of all the Marvel Universe characters in that Marvel House style. And this issue number 1 covers the adversary to the Chameleon. So let's get into it a little bit here in the front matter and read from new editor Gregory Wright why this series came to be. Just when you thought it was safe to go back into the comic shop, just when you were certain that you had all the Marvel Universe characters' bios and pics in existence, the unthinkable happens. Yes, true believers, it's back. The most valued source of information about the Marvel Universe returns, the official handbook of the Marvel Universe, Update 89. So why did we bring it back? Well, so much has happened in our universe in the past couple of years. It became apparent that a whole bunch of new characters appeared who don't have entries. Not only that, but many characters have never gotten entries. So we compiled a list, and it was so big that we decided to do 6 issues. It was supposed to come out in 1988, but it got overwhelming that we had to delay it slightly. I know, where the heck is the long-promised appendix? Really, trust me, right after we do the updates, we are doing the appendix. You do want a complete one, don't you? And then Greg Wright goes on to say that Mark Ruhnwald has been promoted up out of the position of running the handbook to executive editor, so it's going to be mainly him and writer-researcher Peter Sanderson. Joe Rubenstein is back doing the inks on all the figures, the main figures. Andy Janschus is back as the colorist. Linda Strunk is back as the typesetter. David Wohl on page design. Harry Candelario on production. Ron Frenz, of course, as I mentioned, is our cover penciler. Sarah Toshinsky is an assistant editor. And Mark Ruhnwald and Tom DeFalco are executive editor and editor-in-chief, respectively. So, let us begin with the adversary, a very powerful X-Men villain from the Fall of the Mutants storyline, drawn by Mark Silvestri. And we're going to see a bunch of Mark Silvestri panels here, 3 really nice ones, showing the adversary in action. And we can see he's an extremely powerful magical being. I'll just read briefly. The adversary is an ancient mystical entity, possibly demonic in nature, who seeks to destroy the present universe and to create a new one in its stead. The Cheyenne Indians also refer to the adversary as the Great Trickster. So he was disguised, I believe, as the character Naze, who was another Native American character that was showing up in issues of X-Men at that time. And then a big reveal was he was actually the adversary. In first appearance in the form of Naze, X-Men 188. In his true form, X-Men 227. And he's also tied to how Storm gets her powers back after being blasted by the neutralizer. The Fall of the Mutants is a pretty cool storyline, and it featured some really dynamic artwork from Mark Silvestri and some great fill-in artwork from Kerry Gammill as well. So that is the adversary. We're going to move on to the Alliance of Evil. This team of quote-unquote evil mutants. First appearance, X Factor number 5. Includes one of my favorite, too little used characters at the time, Frenzy. Who is a great brick or strong person character. Let's see. Strength level. Frenzy possesses superhuman strength, the limits of which are unknown. She is 6'11", weighs 230 pounds. Frenzy is a mutant who possesses superhuman strength and a steel-hard body that is highly resistant to injury, even from flame. The team also featured Stinger and Time Shadow. Stinger had electrical powers, and Time Shadow could summon future duplicates of himself. Sort of similar, I think, to Flashback from Omega Flight in a way. And James Brock, an artist I'm not too familiar with, is doing the artwork on this entry and looks really cool. Again, we have this small quarter page size entries for these lesser characters. Next up is Marlene Alrong, who, according to this, first appeared in Hulk number 11. I'm not sure the context of that, because she is more of a Moon Knight supporting character. And that is drawn by the great Sal Velluto, an excellent artist who was doing, I think, Moon Knight at this time. And she doesn't have any superhuman powers, but Marlene Alron is an excellent hand-to-hand combatant and a skilled gymnast. She is a good markswoman with a handgun. She is also a skilled hypnotist. How about that? Okay. Pretty cool. All right, next up is Ammo. This is, I think, a Daredevil supporting character with some pretty cool artwork by John Romita Jr. and John Romita Jr. action panel here. And his first appearance was Daredevil 252. No powers, just basically a highly skilled combatant. Another of those, I think during the Andesenti run, there was a whole new rogues gallery created for Daredevil, including characters like Bullet, this guy, Ammo, and some others, and Typhoid Mary also comes to mind. Next up, we have Animator, Dr. Frederick Animus, from first appearance, New Mutants 59, origin, New Mutants 60, and this is Brett Blevins' artwork here. This is when Brett Blevins was doing that amazing run on the New Mutants during this period of time here. No superpowers, just like a super inventor and geneticist. Very characterful artwork from Mr. Blevins there. And then we have an entry on Apocalypse, who I guess came around a bit too late to get an entry in the last handbook. But here he is now. Real name unrevealed. First appearance X Factor 5. Origin X Factor 24. And he is like a super baddie who plagued the X-Men. I would say almost a Thanos pre-Infinity Gauntlet level threat. Very powerful. Strength level. Apocalypse possesses superhuman strength. Since he can increase his strength by drawing on external energy sources, there is no known limit to Apocalypse's physical strength. Apocalypse is a mutant possessing several superhuman powers. He possesses superhuman strength. He controls the molecular structure of his own body and can restructure the shape of his body at will. Apocalypse can also teleport himself and other beings. The limits of his power of teleportation is unknown. He's also a super scientist. And this is some excellent Walt Simonson artwork here, and we get some Simonson art mixed in, I think maybe with a bit of Terry Shoemaker here. Cool stuff, definitely. And then we have Apocalypse's Horsemen. We have Famine and War. I'm not sure where the other two are. That may be that page may have been missed out here. But they first appeared, let's see, is their first appearance even listed? Yeah, Famine first appeared X Factor number 12, and War in X Factor number 11. And again, this is some Walt Simonson artwork here for them. Next up is Arcana from the Squadron Supreme. And her lovely drawing is done by Paul Ryan, who finished up. Bob Hall started the Squadron Supreme maxi series, and Paul Ryan, I think, was the artist who finished it up with a little bit of John Buscema in between. Her first appearance was Defenders 112. Arcana Jones is her name. Base of operations, Squadron City on the Squadron Supreme's alternate Earth. So she possesses magical powers, a number of magical powers, and sort of, well, I was going to compare her to the Scarlet Witch, but she really is more of a true sorceress than the Scarlet Witch is kind of a mutant sorceress. So, but she is very much, since the Squadron Supreme is a Justice League analog, she's very much a Zatanna analog for Marvel Comics. Zatanna is the DC super sorceress on the Justice League. Next up, we have Archangel, again with some awesome Walt Simonson artwork. And of course, this is Warren Worthington III, who used to be the Angel, but was tortured and transformed by Apocalypse after being mortally wounded during the Mutant Massacre. Origin, X-Men 54 to 56. Of course, he's a very storied character in the history of the Marvel Universe. And really, when you think about it, Angel as a character is pretty lame in terms of his power set. He can fly, and how many other characters can fly and do something else, or fly and have super strength? Angel was just sort of a flyer. But this was kind of a way for Louise Simonson and Walt Simonson, who were handling X Factor at the time, to soup up Angel's powers and give him a little bit of an edge. So he got these wings and got his skin turned blue, and these razor wings replaced his natural wings, and he could actually shoot these crazy, blades from them. And I think his speed increased significantly. Archangel is now capable of flying at the speed, just over the speed of sound, 770 miles an hour. So he's a much more effective character in this Archangel, guys. All right, let's move on to Arclight, one of my favorite of the Marauder characters. Love this character design. She's so cool. Again, like most Marauders, real name unrevealed. First appearance, X Factor number 10. Arclight possesses superhuman strength and able to lift press roughly 50 tons. I'd put her right there in that range, because she's definitely demonstrated the ability to slug it out with some heavy weights. And then she has superhuman strength. It doesn't really get into the fact that she can create shock waves, which I think is missed out in this truncated entry here. I kind of bummed out about that. She is more than just a super strong character. Artwork by Gavin Curtis, which is pretty nice, actually. I'm not really familiar with Mr. Curtis's work, but very cool. Here we have Ariel. This is a lovely drawing. I'm going to have to look up the art on that when I'm done going through it. First appearance, Fallen Angels, first series, number 1. So it looks like she's an alien. Ariel is an extraterrestrial native to the world known as the Coconut Grove, home of a culture devoted to the pursuit of pleasure. Okay, well, how about that? Like all members of her extraterrestrial race, Ariel can bend space so that she can create a space warp connecting 2 points that may otherwise lie great distances apart. So she's kind of like Lila Cheney. She's like a cosmic teleporter. She also possesses the mutant ability to cause others through psionic means to believe what she says or to do what she tells them. So she's got kind of a form of mind control here. And who draws Ariel? Oh, Colleen Duran. Yeah, that's beautiful. I love Colleen Duran's art. So good. Here's Vance Astro. That looks like it might be a Ron Wilson piece, huh? Let's check that out. Yep, that's Ron Wilson. Excellent work there. Here he is duking it out with the Thing. His real name is Vance Astrovic. First appearance, Marvel Superheroes number 18. So he's one of the original Guardians of the Galaxy. This is a great action panel here. That's really cool. That's Ron Wilson too, I think. He possesses the normal human strength of a man of his age, physical height, and build who engages in moderate regular exercise. He possesses basically really powerful psychokinesis. Okay, moving on. Here's the Astronomer, another of, I believe, the Elders of the Universe. There's some great Ron Lim artwork here. Like it a lot. And there's some Ron Lim there, an action shot. His first appearance was Silver Surfer, Volume 3, number 4. So I think he would have been created by Marshall Rodgers and Joe Rubinstein from an art perspective. The Astronomer's strength level is unknown, although it is probably roughly the same as that of a middle-aged Earthman of the same height and build who engages in no regular exercise. Height 6'4", weight unknown. So these elders are made of sterner stuff, so he's probably actually more physically powerful than what this is giving him credit for. Like the other elders of the universe, the Astronomer possesses a cosmic life force that has retarded and perhaps completely halted his aging process and that has kept him alive for billions of years. Due to an arrangement between Death and the Grandmaster, none of the elders, including the astronomer, can die by any means until and unless Death revokes her pact. The astronomer can project laser beams from his hands, and that he uses these beams to to measure the distance between planets. Oh, hence the name, the astronomer. Okay. All right. Some of the printing in this issue is a bit sketchy, so sometimes if I'm reading, if I get jammed up, I'm going to blame it on some sketchy printing. Here we have Betty Ross, who, yeah, it was a crime that she was missed out in the previous series, but here she is. First appearance, Hulk #1. Origin, Incredible Hulk 291. They waited that long to tell Betty Ross's origin. Come on. So this is actually Jeff Purvey's artwork, and it's really nice. Jeff Purvey's was drawing the Hulk at this time. Here's a Jeff Purvey's panel right here, too. I think this is another one as well. Some good stuff. Here she is when she was transformed into the Harpy. I believe that was MODOK's doing. Pretty scary body horror story if you think about it. That was an old Trimpy issue. Here we have Battlestar, the second Captain America, John Walker's partner. Lamar Hoskins is his name. And his first appearance as one of the Buckies, Captain America 323. Captain America 334 as Battlestar. Captain America 341. Okay. He's 6'6", 295, so he's big. Due to the Power Broker's treatment, Battlestar possesses superhuman strength, able to lift, press 10 tons. He has superhuman strength and stamina, and he's an able combatant. The Beyonders, I don't know if they intentionally left this blank or what, but first mention of the Beyonders was Marvel 2-in-1 number 63. Okay, that's interesting. They may have had deadline issues on getting this sucker out because there's definitely been a few mistakes so far. Bird Brain, another of those New Mutants characters created during the Brett Blevins run. This is, in fact, Brett Blevins' artwork. First appearance, New Mutants 55, and then he has a more full appearance in 56. So let's see, he has normal strength for someone of his size. He can fly by means of his natural feathered wings. Doesn't really say how fast. I guess 65 miles per hour. He can reach diving swoops of 170 miles an hour. This is basically an angel-type character, although he's much stranger looking. Again, Brett Blevins is a great artist. Some people find his style off-putting. I kind of like it. I like the cartoony aspects of it. Okay, moving on. Black Fox. First appearance, Amazing Spider-Man 255. This is some excellent Todd McFarlane artwork here. Very cool. Very stylized. I think that's some Ron Friends right there. So let's see. 59152, real name unrevealed. Occupation, professional jewel thief. The Black Fox is a highly skilled, trained athlete. Although due to his age, he is no longer as proficient as he once was in his athletic skills. He is still astonishingly agile for an elderly man. Yeah, so no powers. He's just a great jewel thief who ran afoul of Spider-Man on more than one occasion. And I don't know if they ended up being more like frenemies. I mean, he is a criminal, but there were always, I think, when I was reading these stories years ago, there was always sort of another villain at play, and Black Fox was never sort of the primary threat for Spider-Man. Oh, yes, we have Blade, real name unrevealed. Former vampire hunter, now private investigator. Blade possesses the normal human strength of a man of his age, height, and build who engages in intensive regular exercise. First appearance, Tomb of Dracula, first series, number 10. Origin, Tomb of Dracula, first series, number 13 and 30. Yeah, try to get his first appearance now. It's going to cost you a pretty penny. And who does this artwork for Blade? He's most associated with Gene Colan, but that does not look like Gene Colan. Yeah, that's Tom Palmer, which is a nice fill-in for Gene Colan because I think Tom Palmer inked a lot of Gene Colan's artwork in Tomb of Dracula. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that they work together quite a bit. And here we have Blizzard 2. the classic costume. Donnie Gill. First appearance, Iron Man 223. I think he was part of that villain army. And basically, he has no powers. He has a gadget, his suit, which allows him to create ice. Basically, it makes him into Iceman, except he's not a mutant. He relies on the suit. And I love this costume design. It's so classic Marvel. Really great. Very cool. Let's see who this is. Mark Bright. Let me see. Oh, Bob Layton. I should have known. Okay. Good choice for that entry. All right, and here we have Bloodscream, drawn by Al Milgrom. This is actually a cool character who debuted in Wolverine, the second series, number 4. There's not a lot revealed about him. His partner is Roughhouse, and they were just a very cool duo of evil in Madripoor, Wolverine's home base, when he wasn't hanging out with the X-Men during his own series. Bloodscream apparently possesses superhuman strength, but its exact level is as yet unknown. Besides his superhuman strength, Bloodscream has a rapid healing ability comparable to that of Wolverine. Bloodscream claims that he cannot be killed by any metal weapon forged by a mortal being. Bloodscream has certain vampire-like abilities, but he is not a true vampire. Yeah, he can cause the victim to start bleeding. He's a very creepy character. 6'5", his weight is unrevealed. So yeah, nice artwork there by Al Milgrom. On to Boom Boom. This looks like it's another Brett Blevins piece. Really cute. Let's see here. Real name Tabitha, last name unrevealed. First appearance in Origins, Secret Wars 2, number 5. I had no idea she debuted in Secret Wars 2, but there it is. And I think she would later be a partner with Rusty Collins. There he is there. I think that's some more. That might be Terry Shoemaker artwork there. It could be Brett Blevins, not sure. Here's some early vintage Marvel Comics Jim Lee artwork, I think. Let me check on that for box 4. Let's see. Yep, that is Jim Lee. Excellent artwork. Madison Jeffries is box 4. This was a period of Alpha Flight post-Byrne when they were sort of trying to find their identity as a team. And it's funny that they were more of a team after Byrne left than they ever were during his tenure, when he spent the whole 28 issues basically deconstructing and ruining them for various reasons that will probably never be revealed. But yeah, so, and when Jim Lee came on the series, shoot, it was probably 20 or 30 issues after Byrne left that Jim Lee got his shot, and he really was working things out for himself and became like a pro overnight on this series, doing some great work. And you can see some of the panels here. Really cool stuff. This is like a Jim Lee showcase here. They knew what they were doing when they put this entry together. So box is Madison Jeffries. He is a transmutator. Any inorganic matter, plastic metal, whatever, he can make into stuff. And he can make power armor like the box armor. And he can phase in and out of it, as shown here in this great panel with the Kirby crackle. Very cool. Strength level, when inside box, he can lift press 85 tons. He has a host of other powers in the box armor. In addition to his transmutation, he can fly and shoot blasts and things like that. There he is blasting Tundra, which is really cool. There he is making himself into basically a transport shuttle for Alpha Flight. Really fun, cool character. First appearance for box 4, Alpha Flight number 10, Origin Alpha Flight 47. Yeah, Madison Jeffries became a pretty cool character, supporting character, or main character really in Alpha Flight during that period. On to Bullet, another one of those Daredevil villains developed by Ann Nocenti during her incredible run, and John Romita Jr. on the art tours here. Bullet possesses superhuman strength that enables him to lift press 1,000 pounds. Bullet possesses superhuman strength. It is not yet known how he gained this ability. He's also showed no ill effects after direct exposure to toxic chemical waste. So he's probably also has some level of invulnerability. First appearance, Daredevil 250. Height 6'11", weight 390. So he's massive. And here we have Bullseye. How could they have left him out of the previous series? But I guess they somehow did. Also a John Romita Jr. Piece. I thought that might have been Frank Miller there for a second, but that's Romita Jr. First appearance in Origin, Daredevil 131. That would be a good one to track down. I may have a coverless copy of Daredevil 131. It may be Bob Brown artwork. But his real name is unrevealed. Of course, they list him as having no powers. But unusual physical features. Though through unknown means, strips of adamantium were fused to portions of Bullseye's skeleton. So now he's got adamantium too. This is a point where like everybody was getting adamantium. It was great for the people who could get it, I guess. And they basically list his ability to throw and wield anything with deadly accuracy as not really being a superpower, but I kind of think of it as one. Anyway. He's 6 feet, 185. Got some pretty cool action panels here. And we'll move on now to Bushman. I think this is some more excellent Sal Voluto artwork. Let me check on that. Yes, it is. Excellent Sal Voluto, because I think Sal was doing the Moon Knight title at that time. First appearance, Moon Knight, first series, #1. Real name, Raoul Bushman, 6'2", 220. Unusual features, Bushman's face has been tattooed to give it a particularly terrifying appearance. So yeah, when you get a tattoo like that on your face, you are making a conscious decision in your life to be a villain. Pretty cool. Scary looking dude. He's another one of those intensive regular exercise guys. No superpowers, excellent combatant. So that is Bushman. Next up is Bushwhacker, another of those newer Daredevil villains. He first appeared in Daredevil 249. We've got some Rick Leonardi artwork here. And 6 feet, 225. I guess he sort of just has a bionic right arm that looks like a gun. It's very weird. Just a visual. I always thought he was visually a very strange character. On to Bira, one of those many Atlanteans who really didn't get any coverage in the previous series. First appearance, Tales to Astonish, #90. So this is an old Marvel character here. And who does this? This is like a classic artwork here. Rich Buckler, should have known. Fantastic command of the Marvel house style that Rich Buckler has. Totally awesome. Bearer possesses superhuman strength and able to lift press about 5 tons in air. The average Atlantean male can lift press 4 tons in air. So he's stronger than the average Atlantean and very formidable against a normal human. He possesses all the aquatic powers that you would expect of an Atlantean. Other abilities, Bura is a master of all forms of armed and unarmed combat practiced in Atlantis. So very cool. We get some very cool classic Marvel panels here. And we'll move on to Bethany Cave. And this is some great, I think, Mark Bright artwork here because she is an Iron Man supporting character. And Mark Bright was doing the art at the time of this publication, I think. First appearance, Iron Man 117, Origin, Iron Man 128 and 140. Let me just confirm that Bethany Cave is drawn by Mark. Yeah, that is Doc Bright. Really good artwork there. Very cool. And here she is struggling with Madame Mosque, one of Iron Man's foes. There's Obadiah Stane. He's doing some kind of crazy mind switch on those two. This is all Doc Bright, Mark Bright pencils here. She has no superpowers. Other abilities, Bethany Cave is a superb hand-to-hand combatant and an excellent all-round athlete. She is highly skilled in the use of handguns. What was her occupation, actually? She was a bodyguard. Very cool. And on to Captain Britain. We have some brilliant Alan Davis artwork on the figure here in this panel as well as Alan Davis. Let's see here. First appearance, Captain Britain, first series, #1. First appearance in the new costume, Marvel Superheroes UK version 377. First American appearance in Origin, Marvel Team Up 65. And I think this is where we get a very souped up. I love that original costume. I like this costume, but I much prefer the original. Look at that Alan Davis artwork. That's brilliant. Yeah, so he's really souped up. I think when he first was in this form, he could press maybe a couple of tons. But here he's been souped up to lift press approximately 90 tons under optimal conditions. Height 6'9", weight 266. I didn't realize he was that tall. In addition to superhuman strength, Captain Britain possesses superhuman stamina, and he can fly at the speed of sound, 770 miles an hour. The mystical energy within Captain Britain's body makes him highly resistant to injury. He's immune to the adverse atmospheric effects of flight at high speed. He can resist bazooka blasts, so he is pretty powerful. Here we have the cat, Shen Kui, a great master of Kung Fu foe. First appearance, Master of Kung Fu 38. Who does this artwork? It's very nice. Let's see here. Oh, I should have known. Mike Manley. Really nice artwork here from Mike Manley. Superb. And here we have some of them classic panels. Let's see. No superhuman powers. An extraordinary hand-to-hand combatant, Shen Kui is one of the greatest living masters of the Oriental martial arts, whose skill rivals that of Shang-Chi. So he's basically Shang-Chi's equal, they're saying. 5'9", 155. And then we have an article on the Cat People, who I think are pretty closely linked to Tigra. And this is Rodney Ramos artwork here. First appearance, the Cat #1. And as a race, giant-sized creatures #1. So these are old storied characters in the Marvel Universe. And then we have the Chameleon as our final entry for this issue from Todd McFarlane, again, because he was handling Amazing Spider-Man at the time, and then its own Spider-Man title. No superhuman powers, but the Chameleon is one of the greatest living masters of disguise. First appearance is Amazing Spider-Man #1. So he is literally one of Spider-Man's oldest villains. And his real name is still unrevealed. Crazy. Okay. Well, let's visit. So we have a data corrections on the back inside cover. Let's just grab one of them and read it. Let's do the Doc Samson one, because he's one of my favorite characters. Numerous readers have pointed out that Doc Samson must be capable of lifting pressing far more than 25 tons in order to be and to stand up to the Hulk in battle as well as he does. Some of them pointed out that Doc Samson's strength has been stated to be equal to that of a Calm Hulk, the green version, and in an Avengers 252 to be equal to 70% of the Hulks. Hence, Doc Samson can actually lift press 70 tons. So they are righting wrongs right and left here. Excellent. I'm going to give this a quick scan just to see if there's anything else juicy. I kind of picked that one by accident, and it was pretty juicy. That's a pretty big correction, 25 tons to 70 tons. A lot of this other stuff is just sort of small textual errors and things like that that were fixed. Oh, here we go. Here's another one that really angered me in the previous handbook. Blob. Readers have pointed out that an illustration for the Blob's entry shows him using superhuman strength, even though the entry itself says he has no actual superhuman strength. Apparently, the Blob can lift press roughly 5 tons. I would argue he's stronger than that. It's not his main power, but he has demonstrated some pretty... He was able to hit Wonder Man from Rikers Island Prison to Midtown Manhattan. You don't punch Wonder Man that far, that hard, being able to lift press 5 tons. But again, these are the kind of comic store geeky debates you can get into on these things, and it's what makes it fun, really. So yeah, great. I'm glad we got this one in. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be covering the rest of the series over the next few months. Let me know in the comments what other series you'd like me to cover. I really like feedback from folks who watch these videos. And please like and subscribe if you are enjoying the content. And I'll bring you more soon on Scott Reads Comics. Thanks for watching.